Hi, so here we are at the Barriefield outcrop on the south side of the road in Kingston, and I'm sitting on the Precambrian basement rock, and this is a quartzite unit that's part of that Frontenac arch. As we look up this outcrop very quickly, we see another unconformity between the Precambrian basement, which I'm standing on here, unconformity somewhere in here, and then we're already into the Ordovician limestones, which continue all the way up to the top of this outcrop. And you can see with this beautiful exposure that there is some variation in the rock type composition. So it is a package of carbonates from the Ordovician, to be a bit more general about it. We can zoom in and be more specific to name the different sections of the rock types using the Dunham classification scheme. But we can consider this to be that carbonate strata that's part of the Ordovician. So here we are still on the south side of the Barriefield outcrop, toward the east end of the outcrop, and now we can see the bedding dipping down toward the east. And this orientation is different from where we started at the center of the outcrop that's overlaying the quartzite Precambrian bedrock. And this is a good indication that the rock package of the Ordovician rocks has been very slightly folded into a very gentle, open anticline. Hi, so now we're at the west end of the Barriefield outcrop, still on the south side of the road. You'll notice, broadly speaking, the bedding is dipping very gently toward the west, which is the opposite of what we saw on the eastern end of this outcrop. One thing we can notice, there's some color changes between the layers. Here is a much more gray color, which is indicative of limestone. And if we look up the outcrop a little bit, there's a section that is more of a beige color, which, if you'll remember from our sedimentary rocks lecture on carbonates, is more of a dolostone. If we zoom in now, I'll show you how to take a bedding measurement of strike and dip on this rock unit. Because the bedding is dipping much more gently compared to the joints we looked at Joyceville outcrops, the Sunto / Brunton Truarc / Silva compass is the better style to use because the base of it is flat. So again, we want to find bedding that is a good representation of the area we're looking at. So this is a pretty good surface that I have my hand on right here. To measure strike and dip, we're looking for the right-hand rule. So we put our right hand on the outcrop in the orientation that we kind of think it's dipping at the steepest. And so strike is pointing toward the thumb and dip is the rest of the hand. So using this compass to measure strike, we put the red in the bed and we read off the value on the far side of this compass. This is about 156 degrees, 156 degree azimuth. Because this is our strike line, the dip needs to be perpendicular to it. So we flip our compass around like this with the bottom edge perpendicular to strike. We orient the dial to match east-west. So the clinometer line is parallel to the edge of the compass, and we simply read off the plumb bob angle in that inner dial. And in this case, it is dipping at about 5 degrees. So that's our dip measurement of 0.5 degrees. You'll see also of interest to measure on this outcrop, there are some joints. And so when we're looking at this outcrop, we don't just want to measure bedding, we also want to step back and see if we see joints at different orientations and measure the strike and dip of those.